Vitikai Aryasin, don't be unfair. Don't be destructive. Don't denigrate people. And now I repeat myself, but there's a reason I repeat myself. These subjects, really one subject, is crucially important to the health and the evolution of humanity, of every individual within humanity, every individual human soul, and then in our collective. I repeat myself because these things bear repeating. And I repeat myself because so often, every day, it seems every minute, it seems every second, people are making really unhealthy decisions and justifying. They're making the decisions to justify their unhealthy decisions, which in itself is an unhealthy decision. The people that I listen to most often on YouTube, Larry Elder, Jordan Peterson, Bill Maher, in no particular order, they repeat themselves. They often repeat word for word, sentence for sentence, the same talking points. Because this stuff is important. And it's because they're opposite numbers. Those people making all these bad decisions, they keep repeating themselves and repeatedly making the bad decision. Look, the whole idea of anti-racism, the whole idea that white people are bad, that they're wrong, this whole idea is not simply divisive. It is not simply unfair. It is unhealthy. I know that throughout the history of the world, the majority, and by majority I mean those folks, doesn't have to be numbers, those folks who gain political and economic and social power, they become the majority, right? And throughout history, those who are not in that power sphere, they've been treated pretty badly. They've been trampled upon. They've been dismissed. They've been diminished. And the way to get back, and it's not just white people, because let's talk about being Eurocentric. Let's talk about being white-centric. Throughout history, throughout China, Japan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Ghana, South Africa, but that doesn't really fall into the point that I'm trying to make here, but let's say South Africa too. Let's talk about Mozambique. Let's talk about Syria. Let's talk about Libya. And then we can go further down the line, just talking about all these different white populations in Germany and Poland and France and Sweden and Switzerland and et cetera, et cetera. There's always been a power imbalance with the people that amass that power, and anybody that they don't want those other groups to be within their group, they sometimes dismiss them, and if dismissing is not good enough, then they will sick the dogs on them, release the hounds, turn on the high-pressure hoses, strip them of their economic and political rights, of their basic freedoms. This happens throughout the history of the world. It happens throughout the world, and it is not right. But if you want to make it right, you don't try to rebalance the scales. You don't say, because for so long our group did this to your group, then your group now must take ascendancy and our group must be, I don't know, smushed into the dirt. We must take our blows. That is not the way you're going to find health. That is not the way you're going to find the release of the human soul. This is not good for anybody. Teaching an entire group of people that they are weak and impotent and helpless, and that the other group of people are just, they can't help it. They just can't help but be arrogant and oppressive and destructive. 5.5 minutes. Let me get back to this. Talk to you. Peace for fingers.